we've got a range of experts for you from Central and Eastern Europe to give you insights, particularly into this field, this very exciting, fast-growing field of logistics and retail.
In terms of opportunities, first and foremost, Romania and Poland are really the two most populous countries of Central and Eastern Europe. So it's really a massive opportunity there when you think about retail, when you think about residential, and really it spans throughout the whole field of real estate. If we look at real estate specifically, we need to look a bit at transaction values. So 2020 in Romania, obviously on the back of things coming from the past, amounted to just over nearly 1 billion euro, which sounds like a lot unless you compare it to Poland, which, being the biggest country in Central and Eastern Europe, had more than half of the region's 10 billion euro of transactions. Poland has a very effervescent industrial market.
The good part is that people are back in our shopping centers. At least from a spending part. As far as queuing up for vaccines, I would say that the recent significant decrease in case rate, which has gotten extremely low, has resulted in people's reluctance to get the readily available vaccines in our countries. So I would say it is early to say that it's that we're post-pandemic, but from a customer behavior point of view, it certainly feels that way.
What is the property life cycle like? I mean, when we look, you talk about obsolescence. How long do you have in sort of Central and Eastern Europe in terms of being able to extract value from a particular warehouse asset?
Well, Bruce, actually, we haven't seen this cycle finish yet. So it's very, very hard to say. But one can imagine that with the technological advancement, with robotics being more and more used inside the warehouses, with higher utilization of electric vehicles, with the prediction of the self-driving trucks being implemented at a certain stage, this will be a cycle-changing event. So you have to try to estimate what is the next big hype to equip your warehouse to be capable of being either upgraded or being equipped from the day one with the new features. Others may suffer, but we haven't seen the end of the cycle yet. So
there is really tremendous development, particularly since Romania acceded to the European Union in 2007. Of course, we took a back step like everybody else with the crisis in 08-09. But the country's really emerged. We've seen actually a transition of the type of investor coming into the region. I always say in the past, it was sort of these cowboys who were coming in and looking for a fast buck. What we're seeing now is more institutional money, more serious money. As a lawyer, what we're seeing is companies that are more adherent to corporate governance, proper controls, conducting business in an appropriate fashion. There's a risk perception versus a risk reality. I always tell my investors or clients that if you look at the risk perception, it's much actually greater than the risk reality, because we do have court system that functions. We have recourse to Brussels or Strasbourg if the investor really feels like they're getting home courted on some of these issues. So I think this typically gives investors some comfort as we emerge into a mature economy now.
Hearing about these new developments of the last decade or so is certainly very, very exciting. It's the next decade that you are concerned about, of course, and that is the investment decade. Do you buy the opportunity that is presented by property and logistics in Eastern Europe?